It requires precise knowledge of lunar cycles, discipline to conserve vital energy, technique to consciously redirect it, and courage to face one's own psychological demons that guard each portal of ascension. The sacred mantras, Iao, Inri, Klim Krishnaya, are not arbitrary magic words, but specific vowel frequencies that create measurable resonances in the cranial cavities, facilitating the production and circulation of the sacred fluids. The evidence is literally engraved in sacred architecture. Gothic cathedrals with their twin towers representing the master glands, the central nave symbolizing the spine, the altar in the sanctum sanctorum corresponding to the cerebral thalamus, where mystical union occurs. Every authentic tradition has left the map. It remains to be seen whether contemporary humanity will have the courage to follow it to its ultimate consequences, discovering that the kingdom of heaven has always been, as Christ explicitly stated, within us, not as spiritual consolation, but as neurobiological reality awaiting conscious activation. The priests of ancient Egypt guarded a secret that could have completely changed the course of Western civilization. Within the deepest chambers of the pyramids, far from the eyes of the uninitiated, they taught that the resurrection of Osiris was not a myth about distant gods, but an instruction manual for awakening the divine power dormant in every human being. 33 degrees of initiation, the same number of vertebrae in your spine. Coincidence? Only for those who have never connected the dots that modern religions have made sure to keep separate. That serpent you see emerging from the pharaohs' foreheads in every Egyptian painting, the one archaeologists casually call the uraeus, marks exactly the point where your pineal gland is located now as you process these words. The Egyptians were not making decorative art. They were documenting a real process of brain activation that transformed ordinary men into beings with capacities we would today call supernatural. And they were not the only ones who knew this process. On the other side of the world, the ancient masters of India described exactly the same phenomenon, just with different names. The Kundalini, the fire serpent sleeping at the base of the spine, is not a beautiful spiritual metaphor to impress Westerners at yoga retreats. It is a real bioelectric force that can be measured with modern equipment when activated. The yogis mapped 3 main energy channels in the body, one feminine, one masculine, and one central, that correspond precisely to the nervous systems that Western medicine would take thousands of years to discover. They knew that when these 2 opposing forces balance, something extraordinary happens in the central channel, something that permanently transforms consciousness. The early Christians, those whom the Church of Rome made sure to hunt and systematically eliminate, knew this secret too. The Gnostics, a term that literally means those who know, were declared heretics, not for believing in something false, but precisely for knowing too much. Their Gospels, conveniently excluded from the official Bible and hidden in jars in the desert for 2,000 years, reveal a completely different version of Christ's teachings. In these texts, discovered by accident in 1945, Christ does not speak about salvation through faith. He speaks about awakening the inner Christ through specific practices involving